the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine. From a place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome. But nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to It's All Black and White TV, and it's a happy All Black and White TV as well. After today's result, I'm joined by Rolly, and I've got Pete on as well. How are you guys? All right?
Oh, great.
Very well, Tony. Absolutely very well.
Always good after a win.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys and girls, if you like what you see, then please smash the like. It really does help that channel up the search results. So make sure you smash that thumbs up if you're loving this video. Thank you very much indeed. It really does appreciate it. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit that subscribe. That is free to do so and helps the channel grow. Bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows. So I'm now currently on 524 subscribers. So 7 subscribers since this afternoon's show. And I'm now only 76 away from 600. So great effort. Thank you very much to everybody so far who have subscribed. I'm going to jump into some comments, and then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. Lewis says, tell me, Mammy Ma, I won't be home for tea. We're going to Italy. Yeah, absolutely, Lewis. Jack, good evening all. Another 3 points secured. Good evening to you, Jack. Absolutely, mate. Bia says, celebrate recovery on the way, loving life. Yeah. I hope it's not a strong one, mate, because your backside will feel it in the morning. Spurs. Yeah, exactly, Jake. I see where you come from with that one. I know we all hope that. I mean, the thing is, though, Richarlison takes his shirt off and celebrates, and a minute later they go down the other end and score.
Spurs will be Spurs.
Mighty Max says, evening, Tony, Rolly, and get Rolly guest and all. That's Pete. What a win, absolutely. Hi, everyone, says Julie. Good evening, Julie. I hope you're well. Luke says, another masterclass from Eddie to change things up. Absolutely, and we're going to get into that as well. Hi, Tony, Pete, and Rolly, says Julie. Hi, Julie.
Julie.
Alan Little says, evening, Tony, Pete, Rolly, and all. Good evening to you, Alan. I hope you're very well, mate. Lee says, evening, Tony, Pete, and Rolly. What a result. Win the UEFA Champions League win, and UEFA Champions League is calling us Newcastle United. Absolutely, mate. Ian says, evening, Tony, Rolly, and Pete. Nice league and cup double for me today. Oh, nice one, Ian. Nice one, mate.
Nice one.
Yeah, because I think Celtic won the league, didn't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Lewis says, we made it very hard. We did. Kate Thorburn, hi, Tony, Rolly, and Pete. I get in there. We won again today. We are getting Champions League. Up the Premier League we go. 2-2, Black and White Army from Kate and Jonathan. Absolutely, Kate and Jonathan. We are. We're almost secure in that top 4 now. Lewis says, I don't know if this is true or not. Apparently we have counted European football. We're qualified, yes, we have, Lewis, because of the way the results have gone for us. Gary says, Gary D, good evening, lads. Another 3 points in the bag. Yes, absolutely, mate. John Southam says, evening, lads. Fantastic second half. Do you think we should start with Isak Wilson against Arsenal? We will come on to that one, John. I mean, you look at this game, and I did say before the match started, and I've said this for a while, we would have won this game 4-0. And you would have thought after last week's result, Everton result, you thought, right, okay, Southampton, they're bottom of the league. They're bottom of the league for a reason, because they're absolutely woeful. Yes, they got a draw against Arsenal, but you look at this and you think, no, this should be a game that we should roll them over. That certainly wasn't the case. I mean, Anthony Gordon had a couple of chances. He had one glorious chance when he was one-on-one with a keeper and he hit the post. I think his second touch, when you look at it, his second touch was slightly heavy, and he tried to toe poke it and it just didn't go anywhere, and it hit the post. And had that gone in, that would have been the game changer. Bruno missed one as well, which he probably could have scored. And then they went up the other end. There was a tackle on Bruno from Lavia, and the ball broke. I think Alcaraz got it, and then he crossed over. And Stuart Armstrong was there on hand to put it in the back of the net. Porteous goal. And you thought, shit, 1-0 down to Southampton. How are we 1-0 down to this team that are absolutely woeful? Southampton fans weren't happy with the team sheet. I mean, I'll put the team sheets up on the screen now, obviously as a reminder of the teams, because that was our team today, as we can all see there. And the Southampton team, well, apparently Southampton fans went into a real meltdown, Pete, on Twitter. They were going absolutely mental. For starters, they weren't happy with McCarthy being in goal, because they said he's a liability. He's the worst keeper in the Premier League. Ooh. Said this is going to be a long afternoon, because Newcastle's going to pepper him for shots and he's not going to save any of them because he's rubbish. Now, we didn't test him enough in that first half. But to be fair, I thought, so the first half ends and they're like 1-0 down. I'm gobsmacked, thinking, well, hang on a minute. Why have we been so poor in this first half? We've been absolutely excellent against Spurs, against Everton. Yes, we had that poor first half with Everton because they tried to press us. But then the second half, we dominated that game against Everton and won it lovely. But I just couldn't believe what I was seeing this time around. And I thought, we're at home. We should have been taking this game to Southampton. They made it very tough for us, and they deserved that lead at half time. I'm not going to take that away from Southampton. They deserved that lead. But then second half came. We brought Wilson on for Gordon, which I thought was a great move. Not that I thought Gordon had a bad half. I just thought he could have scored a couple. But Wilson coming on, I thought this changes things. We'll put Isak left now. Well, it started off that way, and then Wilson got the equaliser. Absolutely brilliant. The one that was choked off for VAR was very, very contentious in my eyes, because they were looking to see if it hit Almiron before it went through to Wilson. Now, to me, it hits Bella Kotchop first, and then it hits Almiron, and then it goes through to Callum Wilson. So technically, to me, that's not an offside goal. They seem to spend an age looking at that decision. Now, I thought they weren't supposed to take that long on decisions.
4 minutes.
Callum lost that goal, and then we got the second with a corner, which Botman headed back over and it went off Walcott into the back of the net. So Theo Walcott's got a good record at St James's Park. This time he scored for us, though. And then obviously Callum Wilson from that long punt from... that long ball from Nick Pope. Callum Wilson took it round the goalkeeper, slotted it home, 3-1. We could have had a fourth when he hit the crossbar, and Bruno was waiting at the back post for him to hit the bar again, and it was like, what's going on? Yeah, it's just the way our luck is. But we got the game wrapped up. We got the 3 points, which was the main thing. I really thought Southampton had a red card in them somewhere along the line, because I was expecting them to fold, The second half, I think, when they come out, they looked like they were going to try and defend that 1-0 lead and stop us. And that was their problem. They were sitting far too deep and they were inviting us on. And the more we came, the more we battered them. And if there's any Southampton fans watching this stream, by the way, I'm going to say to you now, you are gone as a club, because you'll go to the City Ground next week. I think Forest will wipe the floor with them. I really do. Mm-hmm. And after that, they've got no chance of coming back. So I think Southampton's gone now. I think that you know, they've got to play Liverpool as well, and I can't see them winning. So, Pete, I mean, you're at the game. Give me your thoughts, please, Pete.
Yeah, really, really flat, poor first half it was. We give the ball away a lot. They came out with some times. I thought it was a poor goal to concede as well. I don't know who's picking Stuart Armstrong up in the box as well. Someone should be picking him up because it's a simple ball across. Someone should be coming to try and stop that for me. Definitely. But yeah, I think what we needed then was half time so Eddie can get right into them and says that wasn't good enough. I also need to make a change. What does he do? Takes off Gordon, puts our number 9 on, and the game completely changes completely. And we absolutely obliterated them in the second half completely. We opened them up. As soon as we got that equaliser, there was only one team that was now going to win the game, and it was definitely going to be us. Yes, a bit of question over the possible VAR decision. He might have just been off, but if you've said, Tony, that if it's come off one of their players, it could be. But the third goal, the way he just rounds McCarthy's just excellent, and it's just the icing on the cake for us to get that 3 points as well. And I'm glad Wilson is back to his best now, because we're thinking, what's happened to him after that World Cup? He must have been eating something that's made him get the number 9 we have at this football club. And if Longstaff misses the rest of the season, which is a lot of news that it could happen, or if he doesn't make the Arsenal game, Isak goes on the left, Wilson in the middle.
I checked it. Craig Hope said that it's not a break.
Yeah, that's
it's not.
Oh, it's not a break.
He said. Eddie Howe said that it's not a break, and the only thing he said that the only player who he said who's ruled out for the rest of the season now is Lascelles. Lascelles is out for the rest of the season.
Lascelles is out for the rest of the
season.
season.
Yeah, picked up a calf strain in the gym, but they say that Longstaff's got an outside chance of playing against Arsenal.
Oh, well, so that's going to be interesting. I mean, I think we kind of missed Longstaff in a way again a little bit.
Yeah.
In that first half.
We did.
I feel sort of gratified. Everybody's now saying, like, I for the longest time been saying, Longstaff, he does a lot of work for us. Let's Bruno and J7 and Willigress play. And people say, oh, get rid of him. He won't get us European football. He won't get us in the Champions League. Well, he has.
Well, yeah.
And people are starting to realise how good he is for the team when he's not playing.
Absolutely. If Longstaff is back,
yeah, sorry.
I wouldn't mind if either Isak or Wilson starts up front.
Yeah.
I mean, he has some little stats for you. Obviously, Callum Wilson's played 26 games this season. He started 17 of those 26, and he's now got 15 goals in those 26 games. His scoring frequency's gone right down to 104 minutes per game now. Every 104 minutes he's scoring is now. I mean, and he's got 4 assists as well. I mean, Isak again assisted Wilson for that first one, Pete. Isak's on fire, isn't he?
He certainly is, isn't he? He really, really was. He was.
Do you think, though, Pete? And I'll ask Mason and Rowley as well. Do you think, though, Pete, that Isak has upped Callum Wilson's game? Do you think Callum Wilson's upped his game because he knows he's got serious competition with Isak?
I think he has, yeah. I totally agree with that. Yeah, he really, really has. At least there's now competition in that striking role now, which is great. If any, as I said, I wouldn't mind if any one of them starts on Monday, to be honest, if Longstaff does come back for that game. Because that is what... I know Isak's been our record number 9 record signing as well, but Callum Wilson is wearing a number 9 shirt as well. A shirt that represents something. That number represents something at this football club.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, do you agree as well, Mason, about Isak? He's upped Callum Wilson's game.
Aye. I mean, he was outstanding today. First half, I think we were poor, but obviously he got better. He got better as the rest of the team did in the second half, and I was really, really pleased for him. Our record goal score, not record goal score, a record signing and we're number 9, or at the same levels now. I think they're at the same level now with the way they play, the way they have the ball at the feet, and just the way they score. I mean, it's took. I think it's took half a season for Isak to pick up his pace because he's been injured for the first half of the season, and he's come back a better player. When he first signed, and just want to let his own over Graham Souness is leaving Sky.
Yes, I just saw that before I came on air. Yeah,
all I could say to that is good riddance.
Absolutely, but overall, Mason, were you pleased with the performance in the second half, especially because obviously the first half wasn't that great, was it?
I was pleased. Second half, I was pleased. I couldn't say the second goal, to be honest, because for where I sat, because I think there was a few Southampton players in the way, and people were saying people in the Gallagher, people were singing for Botman. I thought Botman had scored. People were saying obviously the announcement came, it was Bruno, and then I've just seen it on Sky Sports that it was Theo Walcott. I thought, I mean, I keep forgetting to check it, but I mean, Wilson took his third goal really, really well.
Yeah, he did,
and I was pleased with that. And we kept Nick Pope quiet. I mean, that's just the final nail in the coffin for Southampton going down. That's the final nail in the coffin now,
Yeah,
because they're going down now.
Yeah, because I think at one point we had in the second half we had 30 touches in the Southampton box. They had none in our box. That just showed you how dominant we were in the second half.
They spent money on strikers in January. One of them. I think one of them was out injured, and one of them didn't even look like scoring today. I mean, I think they need a revamp today. Revamp. What's the word again? I forgot the word.
Clear out.
Yeah.
There's one. I just want to put out one player I would like to see at Newcastle next season. Is that Alvarez?
He's not a bad player.
The way he played, I was impressed with him in that Lavia the day. I was impressed with him the other day. Yeah,
Lavia won't be there next season. He'll be gone.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy if one of them comes to Newcastle in the summer because I was really impressed with them the other day.
Yeah, I think if Southampton I know when Southampton go down, he won't be back for a while out the Championship. That's for sure. What's your take on today's game, Rolly? And do you agree the same about the question about Isak? He's up Callum Wilson's game.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, iron sharpens iron. I think they're feeding off each other. They're very different types of strikers. So it's quite good if they're having one start and then maybe take the other one off and switch them like we did at West Ham, because then the defenders have got a totally different type of striker to defend against. But Isak's skill is just so mesmerising. He's going to be a really, really top striker for us for hopefully many years to come. He just looks class. For first half, we had chances to take the lead, which would have changed the game. I'm surprised how hard Southampton came at us. But credit where credit's due, they did have a good go. I wasn't too worried when they scored because I think, we'll turn it back. They're not that good. They got it on the break though. The game was pretty level, a bit sloppy, but they were. They gave it a good go. Then obviously made the change at halftime. I didn't think Gordon played that badly. He flashed again, for want of a better way of putting it. excuse the pun. It showed bits of what he's capable of. He just needs to get his shooting boots on. He would have had his first goal for the team. Second half, we dominated. We all played in their half. Yeah, Wilson, he's on fire at the minute. He says he's the most unlucky player in the. I mean, having so many chances, not getting a hat trick, having one disallowed, having a shot hit the crossbar twice. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But he's a monster at the moment in front of goal. Again, if Sean doesn't make the game on Sunday, I think that we might start with Izek playing and Wilson playing together. I think if we don't start them both, I think Izek will start. I just think that it'll give the Arsenal defenders more of a problem than Wilson because of his skill. Obviously, Wilson's more of a traditional centre forward. It's got strength. It's got a decent amount of speed, but he's in that sort of Shearer mould. Centre halves know they've been in the game, whereas Isak can just drag them all over the place and beat them with his close control is amazing. And there's talk about good feet for a big man. His feet are exceptional. But I think, again, I thought we'd have too much for them, and it proved the case. And they're fortunate it was only 3-1.
Yeah, absolutely, Rolly. I'm just going to jump into some comments here. Yeah, Lewis, we're going to Europe. We're in a European tour, mate. Absolutely. Question for Peter from Kate. Where was Archer on fan cams today?
He wasn't there today, but he's coming to Arsenal, I can tell you that.
There we go. Ian says, Celtic was in the cup final, Tony. They beat Rangers 1-0. Wow. Excellent. Oh, yeah, because they won the league a few weeks ago, didn't they? Mighty Max says, did anyone else see Amanda and Miadad look into the ground? Both looked peed off when they scored. Yeah, well, it's one of those things, isn't it? You're going to be peed off when the opposition score. We all are. I was as well. I couldn't believe what I saw. Jack says, can't say I was surprised at them going 1-0 up. I knew we'd have still given 110% despite them sitting bottom of the league. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Knew, I thought at the half time Eddie would tear into them. Well, probably not tear into them, but he would make a change. And, and the thing with Anthony Gordon, I think once he's had a full pre-season under Eddie Howe, and I think Eddie Howe will get his finishing improved, I think he'll be a super player. You just got to give him a chance. Yeah. Lewis says, manager and players were very, very angry for the Southampton manager. Should have been sent to the stands. I mean, he was ridiculous, that Southampton manager. He got yellow card, didn't he? Yeah, he did, yeah.
I see that, yeah.
He looks out of his depth in my eyes. He's not a manager.
He's shocking.
He's only interim anyway.
Well, yeah, but he's terrible.
Alan says, how long staff out? We missed him today. We're not sure, Alan, but I'm sure we'll find out. Bia says McCarthy was their best player, the keeper. Mm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why this. Obviously, the Southampton fans must have an agenda against them, and that's why they were on it. Yeah. That's why they were on a full meltdown. The meltdown was ridiculous over the team. They were like, "Oh yeah, we're relegated now because he's put out a team that's going to relegate us." So,
to be honest, I think he made a few howlers today. Not just him, his defence as well.
Mm.
Which is why they're at the bottom of the league. I didn't think he had too bad a game, that keeper. But I wouldn't want him between the sticks for us.
Yeah. Lewis says, it's so funny when Southampton fans were singing Champions League, you're having a laugh, and then we scored and we sang Premier League, you're having a laugh. Yeah.
Yes, I heard that,
nice Lewis says in the stadium, we have no idea with our decisions for Wilson's offside. Yeah, I know it's ridiculous.
4 minutes it took to make that
Yeah.
decision.
The problem with that is the decision. It may well have been the right decision. It's hard to tell either way, which is the problem.
His foot looks like in an offside position.
The way I looked when it came up on the big screen, where I said, because I said underneath the big screen, it looked like his foot was just on offside. That bit on offside.
On the street, when I was watching it, the VAR was looking at back and forward, and they're trying to tell whether it came off Almiron or whether it came off the defender, and it wasn't clear. So they should have gone with the on-field decision.
Yeah.
Where I think it was last week or the week before saying that the VAR to overturn a decision, it's got to be jumping off the screen, and it wasn't. And there should be a time limit as well, because if it takes you 3 minutes to make a decision, it's not clear and obvious.
Yeah.
But
Gary says, I was watching Liverpool.
I was just going to say, we're getting nothing from VAR, or very little from VAR, but it's not going to make any difference because we're going to keep on winning.
No. Gary D says, I was watching Liverpool Spurs. A commentator says, Man U won. Didn't say anything about Newcastle winning, lads. Shown no respect for Newcastle. Just let them get on with it, Gary. I wouldn't worry about it, mate, because we'll just do what we need to do, and that's the end of. Even Dean Ashton, I put it on Sky Sports, and he said, well, Newcastle's up there. He says, maybe it's a bit quick for them to be up there, and maybe Eddie Howe's overachieved.
Premier League table doesn't lie.
And I thought, this is coming from a striker who played for bloody West Ham in Norwich City, Dean Ashton.
Oh.
So, as Pete just said, the table doesn't lie. At this stage of the season,
well, may have had more
you deserve to be.
Because we've been screwed over by VAR, but we are where we are for a reason.
But then Clinton Morrison put him right, and he said, no, he says Newcastle's up there because they play some great football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Clinton Morrison says Eddie Howe's done a very good job. Ian says, I'm sure we will manage. Eddie knows what he's doing, absolutely. Alan says, great result. Longstaff, only a short injury. Howe said after the match, so not serious. That's ideal. That's brilliant to know. Wilson's a super sub, says Lee, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
No, Longstaff, okay, that's all right. Lee says, still unbeaten. The Southerners can't stop us. Absolutely, Lee. You're absolutely right. Just trying to catch up with some of these comments. Longstaff is our key player, but still fans slate him. Yeah, I know. It's just, I just don't get it, Paul. I really don't. Jan says, Joe Linton must play on the left midfield. It's his best position for me. Do you know what? I can't disagree with you. I think he looks better on the left, in all honesty. BS says, I don't think we should play Wilson with Isak. You have to have game changers on the bench to change it up. I suppose you got a point there, but Jack says that's exactly what it is, Tony. Healthy competition, looking on from the bench, absolutely. John says, guys, I'm a Maxi fan, and it's really not injury keeping him out. I'm not sure myself. It's sort of backfired for him. More goals in his absence, just an observation. I mean, I don't know what's going on. It's strange. I mean, Eddie Howe said he's not got any setbacks, but he hasn't trained on the grass yet, so maybe it'll be interesting to see if we're seeing before the end of the season.
The thing about it, we're at the situation now that if someone loses their place for injury, they might not get back into the team because we're playing so well. I mean, that's been the main reason why Maxi hasn't played many games this season. It's because once he got injured, we were playing so well, but it's really difficult to force your way into the first team. It came on as an impact sub and did well, got a few starts, and then started to be playing at the sort of level we expect him to play, and then got injured again. People are going to have to get used to players getting injured and not getting into the first team. And it's not because of any fault of their own. It's because of the person that's gone in. Like people, Eddie Howe was talking about Matt Target, how he's hardly playing. He says, well, he was a victim of our success because when he was ill, Dan Burn came in and played superb. And for most of the time since then has played superb as well. So he doesn't like to change his back four, which is understandable. So it's hard for him to get back into the team. There are very few players in our side that when they back from injury can walk back into the side. I can think of 3. Pope, Botman and Bruno. Maybe Shard as well. But I think everyone else, Trippier as well. But I think even with Shah, I think it depends on who comes in and how they play. But there's not many that can guarantee a start, which is great.
I mean, Jeff Johansson hits the nail on the head there. He says, still need another striker into summer. Absolutely, we do. Julie says, a young striker who's a squad player would be perfect. Absolutely. And she says, hi, Mason. Paul says, we have a young striker. He's
Sorry, Julie.
Yes, he is. Dylan Stevenson, isn't he?
Yeah.
Alan says, lads, would you play Isak and Wilson together against Arsenal?
Only if Longstaff's missing.
Yeah,
I agree.
If Longstaff's missing, I would, yeah. Would you, Mason? Play Isak again and Wilson against Arsenal if Longstaff's out?
Possibly, yes. Because it's probably Arsenal's biggest game since the Man City defeat. They'll be up for it. Obviously, because I haven't got a game this weekend. I think Arsenal will be up for it, and we need to have our firepower up top, so we can stop Arsenal getting more points, so that Man City can win the league. Because if Arsenal bottled it against us next Sunday, Man City win the league by a country mile.
Oh, yeah, definitely without a doubt. I mean, Julie's saying there about Grant Qual, we should recall him next season. Well, he will be back next season because he's only on loan for the season. But the thing is, what's annoyed me is Hearts have really not played him that much. And I think, do you know what? That was a waste of a loan because he could have gone somewhere else that would have probably played him more. But, but we'll see what he's like when he comes in the summer. He'll have a full pre-season with Eddie Howe, so that'll be a difference as well. Paul says, I would start Isak and Wilson if Longstaff is out against Arsenal and play Joel Linton, Willock and Bruno in midfield. Good shout.
Absolutely.
Jan says we should all go out. We should go all out against Arsenal, win the game, set and match. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bias has told you Alcaraz was a prison, couldn't get him out. Couldn't get out of his own half. Yeah, it's Alcatraz. Harry asks, crack. Hey, Harry, how are you, mate? Hope you're well. Not seen you for a while. European footy officially back at St James's Park. Just a matter of time. It will be Real Madrid in the Champions League or Bohemians in the Europa Conference League. Lol. Coffee. Hi, Tony PD, Rory Mason and all. Hi, Coffee. Hope you're well. He says, I think I saw Tony PD Rolly warming up in the second half when we were 1-0 down. Well, if you saw me warming up, it might have been going to get myself another beer for the second half. Coffee says Eddie Howe's opponent manager winding up the max. Yeah, the guy's a knob. Paul says on that comment, Sean Neville on the Liverpool game was praising Newcastle's defence. Yes, he did, Paul. He did. He said Newcastle's defence has been immense this season. He says only Newcastle and Man City have had the best defences in the league this season. And yes, Gary Neville did praise our defence. Yeah, absolutely. Tanji says Isak's applied to the council for the streets where he lives, for the paths to be widened so he can take all his dogs for a walk.
Oh dear.
If West Ham win the Conference League, I'm sure we could, says Julie. Yeah, but I don't think we're going to finish that low now, Julie. Coffee says, was on Paul's watch along for the game. So many negative comments in the chat on Anthony Gordon. It was unreal, and most of them probably Everton fans on burner accounts. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Anthony Gordon, give the guy a chance. Next season we're going to see him even better.
Yeah, I believe it will.
He's
After he has a full pre-season.
He's probably only just getting up to Eddie Howe fit now, because he had all that time with the skip rats. He's got to unlearn everything they taught him and get Eddie Howe fit. But he did look good in spells. He's getting free a lot. Yeah, I don't think he'd have got so much negative if he'd actually slotted one of the chances away. He had 2 good chances, didn't score. He puts one of those away and there's no negativity. But he's getting into the positions, which is the main thing. You can't score if you don't have a go. You can't score if you don't get in a position where you can give yourself a chance. So there's positives there. I mean, you look at Joe Linton. It took him nearly 3 years to become the Colossus he is now.
Because he's never played in the right position.
Yeah, I know, but that point is you got to give him time. He's only been with us 2 seconds.
Tanji says, watch Liverpool Spurs game. Terrible officials. Klopp needs a 10-match ban for his behaviour towards officials. Almost morning. The talky tooth whinge bag he is. I mean, the thing is, I said this to Pete before the show stopped. Before when we were backstage, I did say, Klopp, I mean, I don't get it. They scored the 4th goal, and then he had to run down to John Brooks, the 4th official, and get in his face and give him the verbals. Why? Your team's winning. What is your problem, Jurgen Klopp? It's about time the FA and the Premier League came out and give this guy a ban, because too many of them are frightened to say anything to him because of Jurgen Klopp. He's not the President of the United States. Don't worry about it. Just tell him, sorry, Jurgen, you're getting a ban. Simple as. If Boris Johnson can get a fine for having a lockdown party off the police, then I'm sure Jurgen Klopp can get a 10-match ban from the FA, or are the too toothless to do that? Jack says, Anthony Gordon does get a lot of hate. It's a shame. It's a lot of potential. I'm sure he will come good under Eddie. Must see something in him. Eddie, we trust absolutely Jack. And the thing is, as I've just said, yes, he needs to work on his finishing. Maybe he works more on that in the summer. And when he's had a full pre-season, we might see a different Anthony Gordon next season. And there'll be a lot of fans out there who have doubts about him. They'll be like, whoa, hang on a minute. We didn't see this coming. Remember, Eddie's track record at improving players is massive.
Look what people... Sean Longstaff's a case in point. At the beginning of the season, people were saying, oh, get rid of him. He's no good. Why is Eddie playing him? He won't get us into Europe. He won't get us into the Champions League. Now, when he's not playing, everyone says, Longstaff's not playing. God, I hope him.
And again, credit for Longstaff for coming out and ripping into our former manager for saying he was poorly coached.
Yeah. The same you can say for Jacob Murphy. Beginning of the season, everyone's saying he's useless. Get rid of him. Now he's playing the best football he's played at the club in a team that's playing really well, and he's been playing really well, and rating as high as anybody in the team for his performances. You just got to give him time. Eddie will turn it round.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Alan's asking a question, so I'm going to come round and ask you. I'm going to ask you just yes or no. Right, I'll start with you, Mason. Alan Little asks, lads, would you sell ESM if a good offer came in? Yes or no, Mason?
If it's a return to France for decent money, then yes. Otherwise, if it's a team not in France, then no. I'm 50-50. If he prefers being back home in France, either at Monaco, back in Nice, because back in Nice since Vieira's not there anymore. Who else? Luckily enough, back up at PSG, but probably not. Well, to
Marseille.
be Marseille, but to be honest, he is from Paris. I think he is from Paris. So if I'm 50-50. If he gets decent money to go back to France, then yeah. But if it's not France, nah. Because I think he plays his best. Yes, he has decent games for us, but I think he'll play a lot better if he play. I think he'll play a lot better if he goes back to France. Yes, he's been decent for us. Yes, he's been decent for us, but I think he may be. Oh, I'm 50-50 on this one.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to disagree
Rolly?
with Mason on him playing better in France. He's showed no inclination that he wants to leave the club, for one thing. He goes back to France with the club's blessing when he's injured. He's committed to us. There's big problems. He's been injured a lot, and then the team's been playing so well that he can't get back in. Good offer. For me to actually consider selling him, it need to be in the region of 60 million. But I'd be reluctant. I'd keep him because we're going to need players like him in the squad in case of injuries or as impact substitutions. I want to keep him.
Yeah. Pete?
Yes, because that money would go back into the side and we will look for someone who could be as good as him or for someone who could be even better than him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know I said no during the Mikey Ashley eras, but that would be because we know where that money would go.
In his back pocket.
In his back pocket. Now, with our new ownership, that will go back into the side. And we'll look for a replacement.
That's a fair point, Pete. But the problem is you bring someone new who's then got to learn the Eddie Howe way, which Maxi already knows. The reason that I don't sell him is because there's no reason why we can't get someone as good or better and keep him.
Yeah, well, it could be someone in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That could be good.
There's no need, because we're going to be playing more games next season with hopefully Champions League, or looking more and more likely Champions League. We're going to need more depth in the squad. Our current squad, well, the first team plus the bench is quite good. We've still got players that we need to get rid of and make the squad in depth stronger. Mm-hmm. By selling Maxi, it's almost like cutting your nose off to spite your face, because you then got to replace him, and that money that he brings in decent was one of the players that we could sell that brings in decent money, but you still got to replace him, and we still want to have better players. We need more strength in the depth, so you're basically selling one player, and then you've still got to buy two. It doesn't financially. It doesn't make sense, because you to replace Maxi, you're going to have to pay at least as much as you get for selling him for someone of a similar level. So why not keep him?
I mean, I would say if a decent offer comes in, then I think yes, sell him. Because
what do you call a decent offer, Tony?
To pay 50 million plus at least. We only paid 16 million for him, so I say yes, sell him. But for the reason is, one, the rumours are really, really strong about Moussa Diaby coming in the summer. Eddie Howe really wants Moussa Diaby in the club, so he would be this direct replacement straight away. And then so if you get 60 million, say, for Maxi, and Diaby's costing you 60 million, you're sort of swapping Maxi for Diaby, which is not a bad swap, to be fair.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But then you can bring another winger in, another youngster. I'm not saying like a mega youngster, like a 16-year-old. I'm talking like 18, 19 winger who's playing for a club somewhere, who plays first team football, and he can then be the backup to, say, a Moussa Diaby or a Joe Linton or, Jacob Murphy or whatever, but still come on and do a job. So, and you might get him for, like, say, 20 or 30 million. So you then got two wingers. but you've only actually paid 30 million for one. So you've got two wingers for the price of one, basically. So yeah, I would say sell if we get the offer, but it all depends. And it all depends on Maxi. He might come out next season and say, "Do you know what? I don't want to be a bench player. I want to be starting." And if he's not going to be, if he goes to Eddie Howe in the summer and says, "Look, can I be a starter next season?" If Eddie Howe says, "I can't promise you that," then Maxi might think, "Do you know what? For the goodness of my career, I might have to move on." And if he does, that's fair play to him. I don't blame him because every player wants to play.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But again, I disagree with your reasoning, because especially with us most probably getting Champions League, we can afford to get Diaby and keep Maxi.
No,
I think my worry about Tony's proposal getting a youngster is that if, let's say, Diaby gets injured and he comes to us, you then got an inexperienced player that's coming to replace it. If you keep Maxi, you have a seasoned professional with a high ceiling coming in to replace him, so there's not that drop in performance like at the beginning of the season before Murphy developed into the player he's become. Everyone would groan when he came on because you knew there's a drop off in the level of performance that the team would have. You get that same thing if you have a younger player that's not ready for the first team. I think we should keep unless someone gives us a silly offer.
Coffee says Spurs players lined up before kickoff after coming out the tunnel paying homage to Klopp's teeth. That's why they lost.
But
the thing is, Rolly, right?
So
we are looking at this player from Barcelona as well, right? Now this player's a youngster. He's 20 years of age and he's a left winger. And his name's Ansu Fati.
That's it, yeah.
And he's worth 36 million quid, but he's 20-year-old. That's where I'm saying, Rolly, if we're looking at, say, bringing Diaby in, and then we want to spend money on, say, a player like Ansu Fati, who can come in for that price, then you've got two players that can play left wing, and that reason, you then don't need Maxi. Maxi's just an extra luxury that you don't need, and you could sell him on.
If you could get Fati, that's the difference. But I mean, obviously, you said or someone, some young, but it's got to be someone of a high level if we're going to let him go. I don't want to be in a situation where we let Maxi go. Let's say we bring Diaby in. Diaby gets injured, and then there's a drop off in the level from that position because the guy coming in to replace him isn't as good as Maxi. So you might as well, if you can find, so if the offer's right, everybody's for sale apart from Bruno and Botman and Isaac.
Jan says 2 more wins and Bob's your uncle. So I'm just going to grab through some comments, Rolly. Rico, Everton fan, good evening to you, sir. Hope you're well. Nervous for tomorrow night, I bet. I mean, Leicester Everton, that's a huge game tomorrow night. And, you know...
It's at the King Power, isn't it?
It is at the King Power, yeah.
I don't fancy your chances there.
Gary D says...
We're pulling up trees.
But Joe Linton was playing for the Cabbage. Yes, he was. Klopp was working John Brooks all match. It wasn't working, so at the end he stuck it to him. Klopp is an embarrassment. He is, absolutely. He's a knob. Paul says, how many people slated Murphy and now look at him after he's had a good run of games, and I think that's what Gordon needs, a good run of games. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I mean, the thing is, they're talking on Sky today about Gary O'Neill of Bournemouth maybe being up for manager of the season because of what he's done for Bournemouth. You know, after they lost 9-0 against Liverpool and Parker went, he had to pick them players up. And he has done an amazing job. And they're safe now on 39 points. I'm sorry. Even he's come out and said they're safe, you know.
They are.
And he's just told his players to play a different way now and go on and try and finish as high as they can at the end of the season. He's given them a challenge.
I think I've messaged Craig from Up the Cherries in all directions saying that, congratulating them for surviving. The next goal is to finish above Chelsea because they're level with them on... they're behind them on goal difference. at the beginning of the season, who would have thought Bournemouth could finish above Chelsea?
I mean, John Southam says, did we all see a cup run? No, a relegation battle. No relegation battle. We have surpassed that. What a manager, team. I would sell Maxi, but not in the Premier League. Yeah, absolutely. Not to a rival.
I don't think
Coffee says, Lurch cost £85 million. Harry Maguire. Anthony cost 95 million. Surely ESM's value should be 70 to 80 million. Do you know what? You're not far wrong there. Probably not.
Yes, at that price, you'd be stupid not to sell. But it all depends on what you call a good price.
Paul says we wouldn't get a lot from Maxi. One, he's never fit, and two, he doesn't score enough goals.
The injuries are concerning me now a little bit.
They do with me, Pete. That's the only worries I've got.
But you get that with the fast players when they do pick up hamstring injuries in a season, they tend to recur. It's the same with Callum Wilson. That's why everyone said, he's injury prone. He picks up a hamstring, he'll be out for weeks, comes back, and then a few weeks later he'll pick up another one. The explosive players tend to get those injuries. Now,
Bias says, with the increase of games, I'm keeping Maxi all day. How do you replace his talent?
Again, it is down to what is a good value and how you replace him. You can't really divorce the two because, as Jan said, the previous comment said he is a talent, and he was starting to prove that, and then he got injured again.
And the answer is talent only counts if you play. And Lee's come out with a good one. He says, Maxi sponsored by Boots the Chemist, all the bandages he wears. That is brilliant. I love it, mate. Love it. Derek says, never get 50 million for Maxi. Lucky if we get 30 million. Got to find the club who want him. Is A and B who could afford him. Yeah. And Paul says, Gnonto could be cheaper if Leeds go down. He'll be a good player to have on the bench. Gnonto, would you have him, Pete?
Not a bad player, is he? Yeah. So he's not too bad.
I go back to that thing. Lucky to get 30 for Maxi. I wouldn't sell him for 30. As Tony said, it's got to be 50 plus.
Craig says I'd sell ESM. 33 games, 11 starts. He's only in it for half of those games. Sorry, but he doesn't deserve a squad place.
You know what it is? I've made my decision. I think Maxi should just go in the summer. I would be happy if we did like a swap deal with like a decent player from a top Liga inside. That's what I would do.
Liga can't afford him.
Like
apart from PSG.
I was going to say PSG, but there's hardly any players I can think of who will want to come to Newcastle because they've got Messi. They've got Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. And that's it. And half the players who play in their positions don't even get any games. So I know that kid who played for Wolves. I think it's Vitinho. I think he's like a good, decent winger.
Spina. Is it Fina?
I get him up. Because he played.
Jake says, Rolly, how much does Maxi pay you? Sticking the tongue out.
I wish he did, but I obviously value him in the squad more than you do.
ESM is a wounded soldier, says Alan. Craig says, I'd take Liao over Liao over ESM. Liao, yeah. What a player he is, Rafael Liao. Yeah, he's in the last year of his deal, I think. Derek says, Eddie wants DRB, Madison and Grimaldo. Anything else is a bonus. Absolutely, Derek. Barca need cash, so Lamine Yamal, says Paul. Rico says it's a must-win for Everton tomorrow. Absolutely. By Lavia, says Craig. Joe Linton says Liverpool celebrating, dropping 3-0 lead and going to get Europa. Yeah, exactly. Lavia is the Belgian, looks a top player, but he belongs to City. I thought he was permanent at Southampton.
He is permanent.
Yeah,
he is. Eddie Howe has to get manager of the year for me, absolutely.
Yeah.
Southampton bought Lavia. City have a buyback, but not until 2025. That's interesting. Derek says, which conceivable Premier League rival would want Maxi? Spurs can have him. He says, Chelsea are already sniffing around Lavia. Oh.
Actually,
Boss are desperate for cash because he want Messi back. He's on the last year of his contract to PSG. I'd be surprised if Messi doesn't go to Saudi.
If we're going to sell Maxi to Premier Club, let's sell him to Chelsea because they'll pay us like 300 million for him.
Coffee says, what about ESM to Barcelona swap for Rafinha?
I think we'll be in for Dior. I think Diaby will be the number one winger we'll go for.
Jack says, Gnonto is a fast little pace player for an Italian. He is.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Joe Linton says, swap Maxi and Gordon for Neymar and Messi. Neto we should buy, says Joe Linton.
I'm not convinced.
Maxi was key against City, assisting all 3 goals, and was key against Man U. He just needs development, says Bia. Coffee says, I used to say Mafinho would be Barcelona's record sign this summer, but I don't think I'd want to see him leave now. We're not falling for that one, Joe Linton. And Lewis says, Maxi to Chelsea, £400 million. Jack says, Sinistera's not a bad player. No, Sinistera is a hell of a player. I rate this guy, and I couldn't understand how Leeds got him. I mean, the thing is, we know Leeds are a sinking ship. Look at them. They're sinking quick at the minute. And, I mean, look, they've lost 4-1 to Bournemouth today. I think they've conceded some like 23 goals in a month. It's absolutely horrendous how many they've conceded. I mean, I can't wait till we go down there and play them at Ellen Road, because I'm telling you now, if Liverpool can win down there 6-1, Palace can win there 5-1, Bournemouth can beat them 4-1 at home. I'm looking forward to see how many we can beat them by, because
absolutely
they're just looking at absolute shambles.
Their defence is crap. That Melly is a crap goalkeeper. I don't rate him.
I reckon the fans turned on them today saying you're not fit to wear the shirt.
Wow. Oh, why really?
They sang to the whole Leeds team, you're not fit to wear the shirt.
Wow,
that's club's in trouble.
Yeah,
that's why I still think they're within a chance of going down.
To show how bad Leeds are, Spurs have almost conceded as many goals as they have in the last 3 games.
And Javier Gracia is not a convincing manager at all.
No. He's not. That's why Watford sacked him.
I've seen Leeds trying to want the owner out and the sporting director out.
Jeez.
I mean,
wow.
Going from Bielsa to Marsh and now to Gracia.
To be honest, they'd have been better off if they stuck with Jesse Marsh.
Yeah.
Well, he was.
I mean, they get beat, but they weren't getting absolutely tonked like they are now.
John says, roll 300 million for Maxi. Chelsea would do that over 30 years, brother.
Well, still, it's 10 million a year.
Pete Joe Linton says you want Bamford, is that right?
You probably in your dreams. I probably said that, not out of mouth.
I was going to say, Pete, I'll be very disappointed in you, my friend, if you come out and said you wanted Bamford.
No, he's championship quality.
No, Peter said he wants to. Peter said he wants
Bamford to clean the guy's boots.
Peter said he wants dicks in the ass.
Oh God.
Godfather, he says, evening Tony Rowley, PD Mason, good evening Godfather. He says there will be plenty of suitors for ESM if we decide to sell. Spursy wanted him last season.
Didn't AC Milan wanted him as well?
Yeah. Leeds are sinking quicker than Titanic, but I think Southampton's sinking quicker than the Titanic, Lewis. Is everyone happy that Souness is leaving Sky? Yeah.
Yep, good riddance.
Can't stand the bloke, he's a prick.
And ruined our team.
Leopard can't change his spots, but when ESM tries to change, he loses all his effectiveness. He has to be top dog.
I tend to disagree, because they say before he got this current injury, He's playing really well and is playing like a team player. So I disagree with you there.
Javi hasn't got a clue. We absolutely destroy them. Jesse would have done a better job, and I don't rate him either.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we'll be wearing our blue kit against Leeds, and we've won every game wearing that as well.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what?
I mean, I'm going to come round and ask. I mean, obviously, we all had our predictions at the beginning of the season. We've had our predictions mid-season at the World Cup break. We've had them through the season. I mean, I'll kick it off with Mason. Who's the 3 teams going down this season, Mason?
Southampton, Everton, and I think to be honest, I think Leeds are gonna go down because I've seen Leeds. Obviously we're going to see Leeds next Saturday, but I've seen Everton. I've seen Newcastle play Everton. Shit. I've seen Southampton play Newcastle today. Shit. I mean, I think they need a clear out in the summer, all 3 teams, to see if they want to get back in the Premier League, because the Championship is a tough tough league. Sorry, with the money that like some of the teams are like putting out, including my second team, because I think we're going to be getting Luton's sporting director. So, I mean, my 3 are Leeds, Everton, and Southampton. Three, like especially like Leeds are not great job, but the other 2 have just been shit all season. Leeds are on a downward spiral, and I think Leeds are going to join Everton and Southampton in the Championship.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good shout, Lou. Mason, I mean,
I would have said Forest, but next year, I think they're going to stay up now, because I think that game against Brighton was a crucial win for them.
They've got Southampton at home next Saturday, so that's massive. They win that game, and that puts the pressure on the teams below them. So, yeah, I mean, that's a good shout, that Mason. I mean, Rolly, your 3.
It's the same as Mason: Southampton, Everton, and Leeds. You look at Southampton and Everton, and their fixtures, think where they're going to get any points. They're that bad. I think Forest have got at least 1 win and a draw in them. And the way that Leeds ship goals, if it comes down to goal difference, they might actually... Forest might actually end up with a better goal difference in them, because they're not that far off now. And Leeds are shipping goals for fun.
Yeah.
It's...
And Leeds' next game is away to Man City.
I thought it was us.
No, it's Man City Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, because you look at the goal difference. Forest is minus 32. Leeds is minus 24. So
Leeds go to City.
I thought we were playing City next, not City, Leeds next weekend, because we've been away, we're at home. Because we've got a few home games coming up, and
we've got 3 home and 2 away.
This is Leeds
and Leeds.
Leeds got 4 games left, and this is our remaining games. Man City away.
That'll be
home to us.
That'll be a cricket score against Man City.
Yeah. Then they're home to us. Then they're away to West Ham United, and then they're at home to Tottenham, last game of the season.
Well, they might get something from Tottenham.
I'd be very surprised if they do.
Well, Tottenham's MO at the moment is to be 3-0 down in the first 10 minutes, so they might stand a chance.
Well,
I mean, that's it. That's, and then
so I can't see from that lot. You can't see them getting many points from that lot.
Yeah. Then you look at Forest, right? So next Monday, they've got Southampton at home.
I think they'll win that.
Yeah. Then they're away to Chelsea.
We could get something from that.
They can get something there as well.
Then they're home to Arsenal. Then they're away to Palace last game of the season. Or I think they only need 4 points out of that lot, and I think they can get 4 points.
Yeah, you can see them getting 4 points from that lot.
So, Pete, who's your three?
I think I'm with the same as Mason and Rowley. Southampton, Everton, and Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, Leeds are just sinking fast on.
I mean, if you're conceding 5 goals at home to Crystal Palace, of all people, well, what does that tell you?
I mean, if it's Man City, yeah, you can explain it, but Crystal Palace.
And their goalkeeper's crap. They've got players like Luke Ayling and Robin Koch who are just dreadful.
He is a cock.
And I've seen as well, their record signing was playing for the under-23s. I mean...
And that Luke Ayling, all he is famous for is just wearing a hairbun a lot of the time.
I mean, you look at... Right, well, look at some of Leeds results, right? 1st of April, Arsenal beat them 4-1. 4th of April, they beat Forest 2-1. Then the 9th of April, they lost 5-1 to Palace. Then the week after, they got beat off Liverpool 6-1. Then Fulham beat them 2-1 at the Cottage. Then they drew with Leicester 1-1. Now Bournemouth have beat them 4-1. I mean, they're just shipping goals. I mean, if Bournemouth, no disrespect to Bournemouth and Palace, but if they can score 5 and 4 respectively, then there's no reason why we can't go down there and have a field day, having a good scoring for fun. I'm just going to quickly go through some comments here because...
Well, I'm just looking. Leeds have set a record for the most Premier League goals conceded in a single month.
Yeah. Paul says Leeds, Everton, Southampton for me. Tanji says Leon's got a good centre defensive midfielder to replace Bruno. I'd swap ESM for him. Lewis says Southampton, Everton, and Leeds, or maybe Bournemouth. Bournemouth won't go down. Lewis are on 39 points. They're 10 points ahead of the relegation zone.
No, I can see Bournemouth staying up
going
there.
down, mate. Not a chance. They're on level points with Chelsea, mate. Lewis. Craig says Murphy, who wouldn't put his name on the same level as ESM, had better numbers for the same amount of starts. ESM fans are blinded by stepovers. Football is about end product. Yeah, absolutely, Craig. You're absolutely
I disagree because I'm always going to disagree on that one. On that end product.
Yeah. Lewis says if Bournemouth and Southampton go down, thank God we don't have to travel. Bournemouth's not going down, Lewis. So forget Bournemouth. They're staying up, mate. Honestly, they are. Have a look at the table, Lewis. Bournemouth level on points with Chelsea. They're not going down. Leeds, Everton, Southampton, says Blakey. Absolutely, mate. Yeah. I don't know why Lewis thinks that Bournemouth's going to get relegated.
Bournemouth's not going to go down now.
No.
Alan says down is Southampton, Leeds, Everton. Yeah. Jack says Leeds need to sell Bamford and Harrison if they can't do that in the Premier League. Absolutely.
Harrison's not a bad player, I would say.
No.
Bamford's championship quality. Their defense is just awful, and Melly is just a poor goalkeeper.
Gary D says if Leicester win, that puts Forest back in the bottom 3.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does, Gary. But that game against Southampton, they're at home, and I think they'll beat Southampton at home. I really do.
Southampton just don't look like winning a game at the moment now.
Yeah.
Melia obviously says Jack. Yeah. Southampton, Leeds, and Everton, says Julie. Craig says I've watched recently that talked about players in the US being told to stay down by refs after the tackles, so the stations could run ad breaks for now. Makes sense. Yeah. Blakey says Forest play Southampton at home. Leeds and Everton have no easy games. No, absolutely, Blakey. Yeah. Everton and anyone else says go father. Yeah. Lee says Leeds is a jigsaw puzzle. They're all breaking up in the box. Julie says West Ham have been dragged back into the relegation fight and they have some tough fixtures coming up, so could be in the mix as well.
I think
they're doing their best to get involved. They're doing their best to get involved in the relegation scrap. I think they've got too many points. I think one more point and I'll be fine.
Who do you think comes up? I mean, obviously Burnley and Sheffield United are already up. You've got Millwall, Luton, Borough, Sunderland currently in the playoffs. I think it'll be between Borough and Luton who will come up.
Yeah, I think it will be between one of them two as well.
As long as it's not the Macklins, I don't care.
I don't care if the Mackhams come up with 6 points in it.
Yeah, I
lot of
know,
Sunderland-
but
yeah,
I'm enjoying them lounging in the championship. It's
Well,
even more fun when they're in League One.
a lot of fans said that a lot of the Sunderland fans said they don't want their team up because they think it'll be too soon for them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they get smashed every week. That's why, Pete. They're frightened. Coffee says it's mathematically possible for Chelsea to get ready. Is it No, it's not. No. Well, it is, but I can't see.
Yeah, it's not
It's
going to
just-
happen.
Because
It's
teams
just-
have got to play each other.
Yeah, it's funny how Chelsea have gone a top from like top of the table into the bottom of the table now.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll just if I go into some more comments there, what I'll do is I'll just go into right, Everton's fixtures after tomorrow, after they play Leicester. Everton's then got Brighton away
They'll lose that.
next Monday.
Yep,
They've got Man City at home.
they're definitely going to lose that.
They're away to Wolves.
They'll
That's
lose
going to
that.
be.
They'll
And then
lose
they're home to Bournemouth, last game of the season. By then could be too late.
Yeah.
Lewis says, okay, I made a mistake, but thank God we don't have to travel twice down the south coast.
Brighton's
Lewis.
on the south coast, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Ah, Lewis, you've had a story.
Or a Sinclair. I predicted fourth at the start of the season, says Joe Linton. Yeah. Bournemouth on 39 points. Yep, absolutely. Graham Souness just announced he's leaving Sky. Is anybody bothered? Not
Nope.
really, Ian. No, I don't think we are. I think we're all quite happy. I hope Millwall's not in the Premier League. No, we do not want Millwall in the Premier League. Especially West Ham don't, because it'll be a bloodbath between them two.
I can't stand their fan base. Like,
Neither can I. Think
No.
it's a horrible fan base.
Imagine the final Borough and Sunderland, says Lewis.
Oh,
Coffee says Everton fans versus Millwall in the Championship will be feisty. Lewis, the final in the same week we play Chelsea away. Or the Championship final, is it the same day? I have an effing nightmare. I'm having one of those days, says Lewis. I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But I mean, I'm going to quickly ask you for your man of the match, and as we're going to be wrapping up, and obviously let people know where they can find you as well. So, Mason, who's your man of the match, and let everybody know where they could find you. Thanks.
Wilson. My reasons why, because he changed that performance in the second half. Because we would have, if he didn't come on, we were looking at a 1-0 defeat. And since Eddie Howe changed it, bringing on Wilson, putting Isak on the left, it worked. And I was really, really pleased. And I think Wilson's my man of the match. And you can find us on Facebook at Mason Ford, Twitter Mason Ford, and Instagram Mason Ford.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mason. And Rolly?
Oh, well, it's Callum Wilson. I disagree that if he hadn't come on, we wouldn't have won the match. I still think we had enough quality too, but he did change it. He was immense today. So I just saw that comment.
Yeah, the stadium full of Mackhams and Smuggies couldn't think of anything worse, says Jack. It's got to be Callum Wilson. It's got to have one disallowed, hit the crossbar twice with the same shot. What more can you ask of him? Yeah. Wembley would have more cheese than Edam, wouldn't they? And Callum Wilson. And can you let people know where they can find you, Rolly?
Yeah, on Twitter at Paul67.
Oh, thank you very much indeed, Rolly. And Pete, your man of the match, where they can find you as well.
Yeah, I think man of the match for me has got to be Callum Wilson. The way he absolutely changed that game as soon as he came on, and it was just a joy for him to do that as well. And for me, you can find me on my channel at PD Proudlock. I'll be doing the match review and the player ratings at 9:30. And you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at PD Proudlock as well.
Nice one, Pete. Thank you very much. Lee says, Wilson super sub. Great banter. Tony Knowles says, Salon, thank you very much indeed, mate. Gary D says, if the championship film was between Sunderland and Millwall, I think I would be shouting for Sunderland, lads. Yeah, we don't want Millwall up. Wilson man the match. Lewis says, I'm still confused. How the hell can you hit the crossbar twice? Brilliant show, guys, as always. Thanks, everyone involved. Thank you very much. Great show, as always, guys, says Ian. Thank you very much. And yeah, my man the match is Callum Wilson as well. I thought he played absolutely brilliant when he came on. I thought Isak was very close to being man the match because of his setups again, his assists. And yeah, you can find me on TonyTooney31 on Twitter and on Twitch. So please give me a follow there also. And before we sign off, if you liked what you see, please smash that like. So it really does help the channel. So if you haven't smashed the like yet, please do so on the way out. That'd be great. Thank you. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please smash that subscribe. It's free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And the bell notification tells you when I'm live, have a pre-record or any upcoming shows. As I say, I'm on the way to 600 now, and I'm 75 away now. So I'm on 525 now. So I got a subscriber during the show, which is absolutely fantastic. And thank you to whoever that was that subscribed. Couple of comments before we sign off. Great show as always, guys, says Ian. Thank you. Coffee says, bye, Tony, PD, Mason, Rory, and all. Goodbye to you, Coffee.
Bye, Coffee.
Lee says, been fantastic, lads. All bunch of legends. Thank you very much indeed, Lee. Lewis, see you later, all. I've just liked. Thank you very much, Lewis. Tony's getting fluent with the announcements, says Coffee. Yeah, well, you know, channel's been going just over 6 months now, and yeah, I didn't even think I'd be this far ahead after 6 months, to be fair. And you know, I'm almost at even 6,000 watch hours now as well. So yeah, it's brilliant. Everything's going the right direction, which is absolutely brilliant. And Julie says, great show, Tony, Rowley, Pete and Mason. Thank you very much, Julie. Yes, enjoy your evening. And she says, good night, everybody. Yeah, so after the scare Southampton gave us, keeping us at bay in the first half, we brought on our super sub, Callum Wilson, and the game changed. And what happened? We went out there, we obliterated them 3-1. We could have probably scored a lot more. But all in all, the most important part of that win is getting the 3 points. That's all we are bothered about. I don't care how they get 3 points. I couldn't care if it's the last minute that goes in off the keeper's backside, as long as we get the 3 points. But until then, guys, remember, the future's bright, the future's black and white. How are the lads, and goodbye from all of us.
Bye.